It's not about me, but it's about you, love.
All right, I'm Jamel. Welcome to the channel again.
I'm Carrie. Hi.
All right, guys. So we got an excellent topic on tonight. We were doing the last video, right? And it just kind of came to us to do a video on the things that we've learned, especially as it concerns relationships, as it concerns courting, and going into marriage. So I wanted to just kind of share my heart, share some of my insight, share some of my failures with you guys, and hopefully you can benefit from all the things that happened to me and kind of laugh at my pain as well. So
Laugh at my pain.
I know, right? So last time we were talking about our courtship and how we started dating and all that type of thing and hanging out and stuff like that. And I began to share with you guys how I was book smart. I was street smart.
Straight A student.
Whatever I wanted to do, I could
He
do
used
it.
to tutor me because I wasn't a straight A student.
So
I was like a BC student.
Yeah, she
The
would
occasional
work
F.
hard too. I didn't.
The occasional E.
If I got an F in my house, they gave us a whooping. We got whoopings for Fs.
I didn't. My
D's,
parents
we
was
got
like,
whoopings.
well, we saw you studying. You tried.
Yeah, no, you don't get off for effort. No, but
I just didn't get no money. You know what I mean? But, yeah. So he would help me because he was that straight A student. Like he understood the maths and the sciences. I was more like an English person, reading literature. Social studies, history. I'm more of a history buff. He had all the logistics, with the science and the math.
Yeah. So. What was I thinking?
Things you've learned.
Things I've learned. Oh yeah. Relationship. Things I've learned. So, let's talk about getting into a relationship. Things I've learned about getting into relationships. The first thing that I've learned about getting into a relationship is you got to know that you're in a relationship. So, at certain points, while me and my wife here, we were talking and dating, like, these are terms, like talking is a term that means that you're actually in a relationship. If you're talking, that means like you're actually kind of together. So I want you guys to understand that, because some guys
I'm just talking to her.
I'm just talking to her, right? That's how guys think. Are we just talking? Girls think we're talking. All right? So if you're talking, that means you two are together. And if you're talking to someone else, that means you're talking to that person and this person, which is an absolute no-no. So you got to know if you're inside of a relationship or not. I learned that if we were talking, we were inside of a relationship. And I also learned that I have to respect that. When we were growing up, we grew up Christian. We used to go to this Save Ourselves for Christ type of retreats and all that type of thing. We're not going to have sex before marriage, all that stuff. We did all that. We dedicated ourselves to the Lord, blah, 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 all that stuff. So what I learned at those retreats were, it's okay to have friends. It's all right to have tons of friends. And then choose whichever one you want to be with, right? That's what I learned.
Whereas my father was like, it was this other guy who's actually a pastor now. Like, I was destined to be like this anyway.
You were destined to be with a pastor.
And so
I just feel so.
And so,
and you really shouldn't even be that way, because being a pastor is great. You're a pastor.
I am, but
and you're the wife of a pastor.
Being a pastor's wife, man. And so, I'll get into that.
That's gonna be a good topic. Pastors, wives.
Yeah.
Oh, and husbands of wives that pastor. Yeah, we'll do that one too. Yeah.
And so my parents taught me. Because I was like, well, he's at Rich Central and I'm at Hillcrest, and this shorty over here is at Hillcrest with me, and saying I like him chocolatey, so it was just like he chocolatey. His hair, he, Jamel would never find out. I mean, this guy wrote me this letter and put cologne on it. I mean, it was pretty doggone deep. Like, he was waiting for me after my classes.
Lame.
Told me I would go, we can go wherever you want to go. Brought the letter home. I was like, well, I will be dating Jamel and this young shorty. And my father and mother was like, choose. Do not fragment your heart messing with two men at the same time. You have one and leave the other alone because you don't want to intentionally hurt someone by your callous behavior. You don't want to hurt yourself by your own callous behavior. Choose one. So, I just Shorty kind of just drifted in the background because this was the consistent choice. So that's how I was taught.
Yeah, she's making it seem like, let me do this, because she's making it seem like I wasn't the valid choice. She's making it seem like because he faded away, she chose me on GP. She's making it seem as though and see, this is what happens when you deal with rejected people. Rejected people always
just
come up. They come up with a whole lot of stuff. Look, listen, she chose me because I was the best choice for her life. Look at me. It doesn't get that much better. And I mean, she's happy. So, yeah. So she chose me, and sometimes I wonder why. I've sent her through the ringer simply because
bad doctrine.
Bad doctrine. I just didn't know. I was ignorant. And I mean, that's just something that I had to learn. So that was something that I learned. Next thing that I learned, while inside of courting, if someone speaks to you about being in a relationship or being a friend with benefits, do not do it. Don't do it. Because if you're already in a relationship and you're talking and let's say you have no benefits, that's probably the right one to be with because they have a little more respect for what they're trying to do, for who they are. It's just something that I've learned. I've learned that if you deal with the people that have class and respect, you'll get longevity out of the thing. People that are about fast sex, fast things, everything's fast, you'll have a quick ride and then it'll be gone and it'll be over. And you'll probably end up hurt to some degree or another. Just something that I've learned. Mm-hmm. What else have I learned? Things that I've learned being in this relationship. If the person that you're with has a best friend and they try to approach you, tell them no. Tell them no. Don't be like me. Don't be like me. Yes, I can put myself out here. This YouTube, I can do this. Look, don't be like me. Don't mess with the best friend. Don't mess with the cousins. Don't mess with anybody. If you are with that person, be with that person only. If you are talking with that person, remember, you are now together. Or you need to stop talking and say, we are going to be friends. It's so important to identify the type of relationship you have so that you don't have the mix-up. Because the mix-up ends up, hurting you guys in the long run. So I look back on my life and I'm like, man, I hurt this person. I hurt that person. I hurt Carrie. I hurt so many people. And now a lot of those people are out of my life. I'll probably never get to say I'm sorry. I'll never get to say anything to them. So here's the next thing that I've learned. Two things with this. Sometimes you have to accept the forgiveness and accept the apologies you'll never get. Sometimes you have to accept that. And then sometimes you have to give the apologies that people will never hear. And when I say accept the apology that you may never get, if you've been hurt by someone or anything like that, you never want to keep the unforgiveness inside of your heart. You never want to have bitterness. You never want to have all of that going on inside of your life because it eventually kills you. I believe personally that people that are bitter end up with all levels of diseases, and they end up in pain, arthritis, and stuff like that. I mean, so it's just important. I said another term that you know you want to accept the what did I just say? You want to accept
the apology you'll never get.
Yeah, accept the apology you'll never get, because I mean, you may never get the apology. And what was the second one I said?
You may give the apology that the person may never hear.
Yeah. So what that means is, I've learned that you have to say you're sorry, even if they can't hear you. And sometimes you have to say it to God, like, Lord, I'm sorry for hurting these people. And that's a mark and a start of humility. You never want to be that person that's breaking people's hearts and you don't have a conscience. You need to have a conscience. You need to be able to be real about it and say, look, I hurt you and I'm sorry. And they might not ever hear it, but I believe something happens in the spirit realm where that person has a slight release at the very least. They have a peace about leaving you alone if you're the one to hurt them. Like, I think that it does still set things straight, even if they can't hear you say you're sorry. And then maybe one day God will bring that person around and you'll be able to say, hey, I'm sorry for doing this, messing this up, tearing this up, destroying everything. I mean, saying you're sorry is okay. It's okay to do. I mean, I'm just saying, just a couple things that I've learned, just about relationships, inside of this relationship. Do you have any things that you've learned inside of relationships, or coming into relationships?
I like I said, my father and mother were very, very straightforward with me. There was not going to be me dating around, like either put him away and pick up this other dude, or tell the other guy, no, I'm with someone. And so I had to, that was a pill to swallow, was learning how to commit. I come to realize that my parents raised me very, very much so old school, very much so in preparation for marriage, so that I would know how to commit and how to give myself totally over to one individual and not have my heart fragmented. So I learned about not fragmenting my heart, because when you date around and have these multiple dudes, it fragments, it tears your heart up. Number one, you're confused because you want it all and you don't want to choose. You got to choose. You don't get to have it all in that aspect. You get to have it all with one individual. And so I learned that you can maximize having it all with one individual.
That's real. That's real. What else I've learned? If you are going to get into a relationship with someone, learn their history. Ask them what happened with all of their old relationships. How are they treating their mother? How do they treat their father? How do they treat their grandparents? Do they love their cousins? Because if they don't like their cousins, they're probably not going to like yours. If they don't deal well with aunties and uncles, they might not deal well with your aunties and uncles. And that's a real big deal, because when you guys do Thanksgiving together and that person doesn't want to come over your house or over to the place where the gathering is and you're frustrated, it'll be because you didn't investigate enough. So investigate. See if that person has red flags. I'm talking about stuff that that you're like, I don't know if I want to deal with that, or that's going to be a hard issue to deal with. If that person is a sailor, they cuss a lot, or they got anger issues, or they I don't know, they're a thief, or they lie, or whatever it could be, whatever red flag it could be. Or their parents beat one another, and you don't want to be with the son of a beaten parent because they might beat you, whatever. You want to investigate that. That's one of the big things that I learned over the years, that the more investigation you do, the better you're able to get someone. Yes. Also, I've learned that this will be a vote of confidence for many people. You can have whatever you want. You never have to settle for anything or anyone. You can have whatever you want. I think that the world is full of great people, and everyone has someone that they should have. So, you know, I wanted to just make sure I said that I believe that there's someone for just about everyone that wants to have a relationship. Mm-hmm. So, you know, you can have anything you want. I would say one of the things I did when I was younger, and I was, and you know, I was always kind of preparing for marriage. It's kind of funny. When I was younger, I wrote down all the things that I wanted in a wife, and I prayed for those things, and I got those things. From light brown eyes to her skin tone to her body build to just about everything I prayed for, I got. So, you know, you can do that same thing, and that's something I learned. I think that's a good key for you guys. So, I mean, anything else you got there?
No, we're getting ready to close this video out, but we love you all, and we will continue to load more and more content. Look, subscribe, like, share, and click that bell so that you get the notification when our scheduled video.
Yeah, when our videos come out.
Love you all. Bye-bye.
Love you guys. Bye.